and we're here at the Civic Center, at the, I always get that, never get that right. Maintenance building for our regular monthly meeting. If you would, we're gonna stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge of allegiance. Thank you. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Here.
Mr. Pollock?
Here.
Mr. Smith? Here. Mr. Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Keith?
Here.
Thank you. First item is some approval of minutes. I would suggest that we do that by consent motion unless there are specific changes or corrections. To me, I didn't see any, but look good to me. Chair will entertain a motion to approve by consent.
Make a motion to approve the minutes by consent.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any opposition? Let the record reflect that passes 5-0. All right, well, it looks lonely sitting there by itself, doesn't it? Our one agenda item is the update on the beach closure. We'll open the floor for discussion from council. I think, everyone has probably kept up with what's going on around us, and I don't know how much that weighs into, but we can just sort of give our own opinions, whoever wants to. How about that?
The mayor, unless we hear different, the mayor's, not the mayor, the governor's recommendations and everything are supposed to end the 31st. Is that right? Is that what everybody understands? Unless he redoes
He's
it.
talking, I think he's talking as we're meeting right now.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought, I didn't, somebody have to correct me, I don't remember dying on the 30th. End of the month. He's talking about like
He's
beach
talking
rentals,
baby
short-term
steps.
beach rentals and,
He's talking baby steps.
excuse me?
He's talking baby steps, a little bit at a time.
Okay. I don't know.
The governor you talking about? Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. Well, I've done a tremendous amount of research every evening for sometimes 3 or 4 hours, and I've been following everything COVID-19 related. And I think in my mind, it's pretty clear that the country kind of jumped off the edge, and we handled this differently than we've ever done any infectious disease, the flu, or anything else. The flu, I think, from what everyone's saying now, from the amount of people that have died, from the cases that they have studied and everything, the flu is gonna still will have killed more people than the virus, according to all of this latest information that you can get. There's a couple of doctors in California that have done a pretty lengthy study, and they say that what we should have done was they're recommending not wearing any mask, any of that stuff. They say what we should have done was we should have done like we have done as a country and as a world prior to that, where if you're sick, stay at home, quarantine yourself, and with herd immunity, this would be not as long lasting as it's probably going to be because so many people quarantine themselves. And that's all basic understanding and common sense, really, when you really start looking at stuff, because a child is born without an immunity system, and it starts crawling on the floor and picking up bugs and whatever, and that's the reason kids are always sick when they're young, and the parents get sick because kids brought something. Well, you've got to build up your immunity. So, excuse me, I'm, s-
Bad time.
But it was very bad timing, wasn't it? So, again, I'm not flippant. I have put in a tremendous amount of research, and I think that we're going to find out maybe in another 3 or 4 or 5 months that we very much as a country and as a world did totally overreact, and we should have done it different. Norway, Sweden, 2 countries pretty close together. One did total isolation, one did no isolation, and their statistics and results are tit for tat for results. So I'm saying all that to say that I think that I would like to see our beaches open as long as Gulf County's open, Panama City beaches are open, because I don't want to be the only beach open. But I also think that we could probably do that whenever they open. I would like to immediately open, and I would also like to relax the fishing cart, beach towel type thing. And if we can't do anything else, just at least open it up to where they can take more stuff down to the beach. I think they should still social distance. I think we should look for groups of 10 or more if that's what you want to do. So there's my opinion.
Oh, you want to repeat that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick was watching and gave a report on, you were asking what the governor is doing, and his comment was essential service related rule expires on April 30th. However, the rules on restaurants and bars does not automatically expire. So
Okay.
for right now, essential services expires on the 30th, so it's being discussed now whether to extend it or to just let it end on Thursday. So right now they're looking at it, but on the rules for restaurants and bar, it does not have an automatic expiration date. It continues until they make an affirmative action.
All right. I feel that we need to ease up some. We need to at least have people have carts and chairs down on the beach. I wouldn't be against opening the beach as long as we kept the no beach access parking. The people have really done good, our citizens have done good as far as working our beaches and what they've done and all that, and keeping separated. It's really looked good to me the whole time. So, the very least, I would say we'll allow to have carts, chairs, or whatever down on the beach. At the very most, I'd say open the beach, but have no access parking. I didn't talk too much, you did, I'm sorry.
Bad.
Mr. Wallace, I hate to tell you something. I was just getting ready, but you look like you were about to speak. I'm for opening the beach at the end of the month, period. What do you think about that? I like the idea of, I think we could probably go another 2 or 3 weeks or even another month about no parking on 98. I think that would help control a lot of the out-of-town people. But I think by the end of the month, most of the beaches are going to be open.
Well, especially if they open up Piedmont City Beach and all this, that's gonna take away from people trying to crowd in on us.
Right.
And allow our citizens to enjoy the beach.
I hate to say it, I agree with you.
Well, it's a gift. This is my last day, so it's a gift. Thank you very much.
I'm shocked, but, I think we either need to open or close. And I know this, what I call part-time in the morning, in the evening, poor little sheriff, you know what I mean? I know he's doing his job, but you're gonna find violators. Let's either, and if we can't get nothing done, I still want you to go to the fishing carts and the beach, just like Gulf County, everybody, they can. But I say, my opinion, let's open it up, man.
Yeah, I think our local people have done exactly what they were asked to do.
That's my opinion. But I do want to relieve what Luke, if we don't, I want to at least get the chairs, just like Gulf County and Bay County's got. But I say let's open it up, May first.
Now I got one question. EMC in Gulf
I
County,
didn't think about that, Bob.
what do you think about that?
Well, I've been worried about that from the beginning, all of us have, about, because that's, we sort of been under, you know, they holding that, I don't think, with what they did, meaning they have time restraints and they let people bring chairs and carts and stuff. I think we've got, what's the first? Sunday?
Friday.
Friday is the first.
Friday is the first. I don't know the answer.
You want to
I
contact
don't
them?
know, well, let me say, for me, for me personally, I'd rather relax what we have now in terms of chairs and carts and paraphernalia, and keep the time slots for 1 week and then have a special meeting. Friday, and here's why I say that, we've got people around us that are meeting and doing the same thing we're talking about today. If we say 31st and people around us don't do that, then we're gonna be right back here shutting it down again. And plus, if we relax it, I just hadn't had enough complaints from people that can't use the beach. Matter of fact, I hadn't had any. The only complaints I've had are from fishermen that want to put something to sit on. Personally, I mean, I have not had one call, email, anything from those that think we didn't do right with what we're doing now. And given that things, obviously things are loosening up, my vote's gonna be to, or my support is to leave it like it is for 1 week with allowing other things on the beach. And if we're first to announce that, we maybe have a special meeting to do the other way, and we might get people trying to get here prematurely if we end up closing it back. I'd rather wait and see what's happening around us and give Gulf County a chance to see what they're gonna do at the end of the month. That's what I think what they said they were gonna do, if I'm not mistaken, that they were gonna reevaluate at the end of the month. Am I right about that?
I think a lot of people are waiting for upper
Yeah,
federal
they're
and
trying to
state
get some
government.
direction
Yeah.
from upper. But it's obviously that we're all anxious for this not to be a topic. You know what I mean? We got other things, but we can't ignore what's going on, so.
Could we, since we know that there's a special meeting coming up on Thursday, would you consider mirroring whatever is done on Thursday, or wait till the Tuesday after? I think the Tuesday after allows us to absorb a weekend. Without the influx.
I don't wanna get tied into what somebody else does. I don't.
I don't know.
I want to be able just to look at what they decide and see how it affects us, and are we pleased with it? I mean, you know, that's my reasoning for saying,
It might open up too much.
or I'm really okay if we don't set a date and just say, you know, as of today, you can start doing you can start bringing your stuff down there, and we'll have a special meeting next Tuesday, or Monday for that matter, and say, okay, what are you gonna do? But again, we're talking about it, and we'll see how the motion goes, but I really think that if we just use the end of the month as a day to say we're open, we might get ourselves in a bind with that.
Yeah, I personally don't want to be the only one open. If they open, I'm for opening immediately. If they don't, I'm for staying like what you're talking about, for sure. Because there's just too much, it creates too much of an issue for the sheriff and everybody else and the people to see people down there and to try and police it. We did a good job of it. We did a great job of it. Thanks to the sheriff's department. They did a great job. The fire department, we really eliminated most of the people. But if we're the only ones open, I don't want to be the only one open.
Now, it
And
puts
so-
a strain on it, sure
Yeah,
it does,
so-
sure it does.
But yes, definitely relax it, but be ready as soon as Panama City and Gulf County, or even just Panama City, if we get one other major beach to
I don't
open
think
up.
Panama City Beach is not gonna do something separate from what the county's gonna do.
Yeah, okay.
And the people to our east, I mean, we've shown them, that relationship is good. We've shown them we wanna do the right thing. And I'm okay if we meet it
Right.
Friday at noon, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I just am saying that if the folks, if our other county beaches open, I'm gonna be for opening.
Absolutely.
And do away with the parking and,
Everything.
everything.
Yeah,
But if they put some restrictions or something, then I just don't want us to be where, hey, we'll go to Mexico Beach. Because Robbie's right, a lot of people that we encounter, a lot of the issues were from our neighboring
sure.
beach areas. So, but as far as these next few days, as far as the carts and the chairs, I don't have a problem with that. I would like to see us not jump out there and take our few people we got and stress them out trying to police it at a level that we're not sure if we even need to.
Yeah, right.
So, that's just a minute. What about the tables? Other comments?
It's gonna really not boil down, but if they open Bay County, without EMS in Gulf County, I mean, we sort of got to.
Well,
and
we
I know
still,
you say
well, I mean, I just think I could certainly call them like I did last time. But I guess the best thing is to find, I'm not sure when they're meeting, or I don't know. They didn't mirror what we did in our attempt to appease. You know, they did put some time restraints, they just allowed other stuff to be on the beach. I just think if Bay County opens, I mean, they're already talking about opening the boat ramp back, they've already done it for residents. All I can do is, if we wanna wait and have a special meeting Friday and say, look, I don't mind calling the chairman again and say, hey, we think they're gonna reopen.
I would like you to do that.
And, I'd say, hey, Sandy, everybody, y'all gonna hold that over us ahead, then at least we'll know by Friday. If we wanna wait, because I think they're meeting Thursday, aren't they?
Mhm.
The county and the city.
I believe both of them.
I believe both of them are. And I'm
Sounds good.
okay with having I don't really, I say noon, I'd rather meet earlier in the morning than that on Friday, personally. But my point is, we'll know what they're gonna do, and I can give Sandy a hypothetical that, hey, if they open, we're ready to open, is that gonna cause us a problem?
Sounds good.
What you gonna say?
Yeah.
Well, how we gonna ease up the restrictions from now to Friday?
But that's what, yeah,
Yeah,
let's,
I mean, I don't see, we can't take
Change the time, hours is 30 minutes, you know, side bill, they 5 to 8, this week 5:30 to 7:30. Just gonna take the call, just ease up to Friday.
yeah, that's fine with me. I think that's
Keep
good.
our time slots, let them take their.
That way, there's no
cars in
confusion about
there.
that.
Yeah, no confusion, because trying to change it.
Yeah,
And,
because
and
you
then
really only talk for 2 or
can
3
we-
days
Can
probably.
we meet at 9 o'clock Friday morning? Is that okay with everybody? Can we be here? Okay. All right, well, then if that's good with everybody, we're easing up on what can be taken, and we're gonna meet again at 9 o'clock Friday morning. I will find out from Gulf County how they feel about that, and we'll know. Plus, by then, we'll know what our county beaches are gonna do. I think Walton County also has opened up today. They did today? Okay.
So their beach is totally open.
You walk.
Walton
Walton
County.
County.
Just come out on my phone.
And I think, see, it's working its way down. I think the county over Panama City and the county are looking at that, and I
Yeah.
don't blame them, I would too.
Sure, well- Well, it creates a problem if you're the only one, so that's the reason everybody's trying to follow suit.
That's right.
Because if you're the only
We
one,
just
you're
got that-
you're
we got
inundated.
that EMS thing over us that
Yeah.
we just need to clarify, I think. All right, so we good with that? 9 o'clock Friday morning, we'll report back and see where we stand.
Yeah, I'm good.
Do we need a motion on the easement of the chairs? And,
Well, it's we wrote it in there, didn't we?
yeah,
I think,
Let Marty.
I don't know, I don't really.
It's just the lawyer that keeps buzzing.
Yeah.
One quick question, are we gonna keep the parking restriction?
No, we're not going to do that yet because we're just keeping the same hours, morning and
Yeah,
afternoon.
we're keeping.
Oh yeah,
parking restrictions.
yes,
Keeping
during
the
yes,
parking
restrictions.
yes.
But outside
But we're
of
not
that-
opening the beach with a parking.
No,
For the day.
only thing we're changing is the carts and the chairs.
Right,
Parks and the chairs.
and coolers and
I mean,
whatever.
what, yeah, I mean,
What
Stuff.
you can
Stuff they
take, what
take
you can
down.
take to the beach, that's the only restriction
that's
that we're
the
taking
only
off.
thing we're taking off.
The
Right.
time, we're gonna keep it 5:30 to 7:30
Same,
instead of
same
5 to 8.
time,
6 to 9.
Okay.
no parking,
Okay, that's,
and that's all we're doing.
if you will make the motion and do the vote so that he can,
Do we need
Exactly.
to?
Okay.
We need to open up to them first.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Rock, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, Rock.
Just one minute comment before you guys take your vote. You led the way. I mean, you guys, it was all over the EMS thing, the closing the beach. That's why you closed it. And then you went down and talked to Gulf County. You got this little deal going. It was great. As soon as we did it, then they opened up. Right now, they're both open. And I think you ought to just do right now exactly what they're doing. No restrictions on the beach and the same hours. Just like they're doing. Everybody around you now is 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon.
They don't
No
have that over
restrictions.
there. They got different hours.
I just looked earlier and I thought it was.
They got a half hour longer in the afternoon.
Okay, but Gulf County's 3 and 3, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon.
That's what I'm saying. They've got a half hour longer in the afternoon.
I thought it was 3 hours each way, 5 to 8. It's
I know,
5 to
but
8.
we've got,
Yeah, we got,
we've got 5:30 to
I know.
7:30.
Yeah,
Sunset
we've
is
got-
about-
Are you
So
talking
it's-
over
it's
here?
an
You
hour.
talking about- you
So it's an hour
confusing me.
difference.
Bay County
an hour
doesn't have
difference.
any restrictions. They're
No, that's what I
closed.
mean, no restrictions. And
No,
do the
they're
same-
closed.
Bay County's,
Bay County's open in the morning and in the afternoon,
no restrictions.
Okay, well, I didn't
with
see
no
it now.
with no restrictions.
No restrictions.
Yeah, okay.
Why don't we just do the same
Thank you.
hours? 5, I mean.
Well, they could have done what we did. Why we gotta check, we're talking,
Well, an extra half hour you're fishing in the evening, the
I
sun's
know.
going down now at almost 7:30.
so noted. Anything else? Thank you. Let's just recap. We're gonna stay where we are. No parking. Same hours that we've had for 2 weeks now. And except for chairs and carts and stuff they can take with them. We meet again Friday morning at 9 o'clock. So we need a motion to, I guess, relax the,
I'll make a motion that we relax the regulations that we put in place to open it up where you can take any necessary stuff to the beach. To keeping the same hours, keeping the no parking.
So,
Motion second. Any further discussion? Any comments? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Keith?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Under the reports, we've got, does Nick have anything? All right, well, you gotta ask him.
You'll see if we're doing that right.
He said yes, but he said that like 3 minutes ago. So I think we were good with what we read.
Okay.
And if he needs to say anything else, he can speak up and I will look at
You
it.
got it, you got it.
In the meantime,
All right, you take the floor.
I passed out a couple pieces of paper to start off easy. Let's start off with the 8.5 by 11s. The one that is in regular page format, not landscape format, is the building permits that have been released since the moratorium. So right after the hurricane, there was no construction, and then since that time frame, there have been 89 single-family homes that have been built brand new.
Brand new.
Well, brand new in that what was there was nothing that was there. So I mean,
Not,
either the slab was all that was
Okay.
left. I'm not saying that it was a virgin
I
site,
got you.
but
Okay.
89 new homes. There are 431, which is the bottom, which is remodels and additions. So I mean, those are homes that survived to some degree that got built back. There are 17 commercial buildings that are new construction, which means that they were pretty much gone. And there were 37 that were damaged that are being rebuilt. So again, there's a top and a bottom to this little spreadsheet. The top is pretty much what the site had left wasn't enough to call it a remodel. It was demoed out, or it already had a clean slab, and they rebuilt from there. Residential accessory storage units, which is sheds, garages, pool decks, fences, things like that, 88 of those. So again, it just shows that there's been a lot of construction going on in Mexico Beach and a lot of activity. And we're thankful that the whole COVID virus did not particularly affect the construction industry. And if anything, some of the people that were in the restaurant business, probably they could swing a hammer, were out there swinging the hammer.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
in talking to EPCI, they did not slow down in any way, shape, fashion, or form. They were still receiving information via phone calls and emails and things like that. So we continue to function as a building department and as construction. The second sheet that is in landscape format is something that was produced by our water department that shows just before the storm, we had 2,100 active accounts. Right after the storm, we had less and then less and then less, and we bottomed out in March of 2019 with 1,073 active water accounts. Since then, people have been bringing their homes back online and rebuilding homes, and we now have a total of 1,320 active water accounts, and that's both commercial and residential. We've reactivated 247 homes basically that had turned off their water at one point in time. So that's construction, development, and rebuilding. The next two spreadsheets that I have for you were done to basically help tell the story on RVs and demolition. On the top one will say RV, and on the other one it doesn't say anything, so certainly the other one is based on demolition. I don't know who got my cheat sheet or one that has colors on it.
Do I have to give it back?
You need to give me back the one that's got color on it.
Is this one?
And it's this one right there.
Oh, okay.
On the spreadsheet.
Bobby.
Bobby.
I thought I had it made.
But basically what I did with this was, again, this is all work in progress, and it's a team effort. There are multiple people that are working on this, but we wanted to take the spreadsheet and put it in a graphic format where you could actually see where these things are. So what they've done is they've taken the RVs, and everything that you see on the map that is purple is an RV. Now, what it doesn't tell you is whether it's an approved RV or an RV that needs to get approval or an RV that needs to be removed. When you look at the spreadsheet, it'll tell you those things. But what I've done is with Kathy, I sat down and looked at the ones that have got new decals and have construction permits and all those things, and they're highlighted in green on my sheet. The next round of this, instead of it being a purple circle, it'll have a red check on the RVs that are approved. So they've gone through the process and they're allowed to be there, and they actually have a decal that tells them that they're allowed to be there. She's also crossed out the RVs that have gone away. So again, on my sheet, I've got it crossed out where the RVs, once they received their notice, didn't know that they weren't supposed to be there, that they hauled off their equipment. So just keep in mind that this is still not complete, because when they received their letter notice, they have until May 9th to respond. So this is still a work in progress, and for the May 12th meeting, this will be at a level that will be much more comprehensive with the checks and marks, everything on the graphic. And Skylar was the one that was able to do the graphics. It's nice to have a millennial in the group that can do some things on the internet that we can't do. As a matter of fact, I think it was yesterday, Sherry and Kathy were doing the envelopes that come from the boat ramp, and it's money, and it's wet, it's dirty, it's got an envelope, somebody's licked the envelope, and you start thinking of that, and it's like, that's not the funnest thing to have to deal with what's going on. And she's over there with gloves, and I said, hold on a minute, because I heard something. And what I heard was you can put things in a microwave for a couple seconds and it will kill the virus. So I asked her to look on the internet, and sure enough, she came back and she says, if you put certain, things that you can put in a microwave, don't put everything in a microwave. Please don't have somebody do something like put a cat or anything that's metallic, or God forbid that you get an envelope that has a staple in it that starts a fire. So I'm not telling people to put their mail in a microwave, but she checked for all the things not to have a staple, and she put, the packet of stuff in the microwave, and now she was a little bit more comfortable working with a pile of money. So again, some interesting little facts. So again, this is a work in progress. If you look at the other spreadsheet that is on the demolition, all the green marks that I have are all the homes that received a notice of some shape, fashion, or form. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 or 7 homes that have been demolished since this work effort, got started, and probably another 10 or 15 that have sent back notice saying that they're either working with their insurance, that they're getting a permit, and things like that. So there is progress going on, and this will allow us to not only track it on an address and a physical location, but also graphically, so you can see where it is within the city. And then lastly, probably 3 meetings ago, the council gave us the ability to hire an accountant.
Excuse me, before you go to that,
Yes, sir.
if we don't have a green line, how do we know what?
The reason that there's green is if you see April 2020,
Yeah.
means that they've received a letter, and that's the only thing that I highlighted in green. Everywhere that you see green on this spreadsheet right here is basically that they got a letter and they have a month from that date.
I know,
to do so.
we don't know that.
I can make a color copy
You
of this and
follow
put
what I
it
mean?
in
We
your box.
don't know, not that I,
Yeah.
maybe,
Just let me
maybe
make
I'm the
a,
only one that wants to know, and I'll borrow yours and green mine in, how's that?
I'll make a color copy of this and put it in your box for you.
No, I'll just borrow yours
Okay.
over, and I'll put
No-
a check mark or something.
No worries.
I
Good
got
deal.
you. Okay.
I'll leave both
I'm
of
with
these out
you.
here.
I'm with you. Okay. Thank you.
And hold on a second, 'cause I got 3 messages from Nick.
Oh,
Hey, he took it away.
His 3 comments are, I will look at this, nothing else. You're good, nothing else, and you did a good motion. So that was it. That
All
was it
right.
from me.
Darryl, you should be proud of yourself.
I am. I'm gonna go get an ice cream.
I would like to say with the amount of time that the beach has been closed, it's given our own department here some time to spend a little bit of extra time on the beach. They've ran the rake more than they normally do, and the beach is looking spectacular right now. So kudos to Tommy and his team for getting out there with the rake and cleaning things up. Along the lines of monies, I did receive a phone call at the beginning of the week that said that the monies for the beach berm should be in by the end of the week. It's approximately $1.6 million. And as you saw in the last meeting, we paid some things for the berm in the last meeting, so where we used some monies from other places to pay for that, this go around, we will be able to reimburse the people that we borrowed from. So that was a good thing, that we should get that money for the berm, since that berm is completely paid for and it is completely installed. We will also be receiving some additional funds on the dune walkovers, the wooden handrails, which I'm sure you've noticed one or two of them are under construction as we speak, so that money we will have so that as those come through, we will get those. And go ahead on, I think it's some partial money on the Beach Welcome Center, so that's moving along, but their condition was they want to know how much we will need for the next 90 days, and they will front us the next 90 days worth of money, so that has come through. And
On that topic,
Yes, sir.
where are we with the design of the building?
the design of the building is, we met with DAG, I think it was Friday of last week, and his drawings were pretty close to complete. They received Dewberry's drawings on Friday, and I think by the end of this week, we should have them out to bid, or ready to go out to bid. So the Welcome Center's drawings are very, very close.
We will see those.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, if you'd like to look at the 90% drawings, they're in my office.
I want 100%.
Okay.
Just want to see that I just want to make sure they get to this table for approval
Okay.
before they money.
Oh yeah, we definitely won't spend any money building wise. Yeah.
When we started this, when it comes to those projects,
Okay.
I think it's important that we see what it is that's going down.
Will do. And then lastly, on the accounting side of the world, we have advertised for the accounting position. We had a little flurry of 3 or 4 applications that came in, 2 that looked like they had some good prospect, 1 that backed out right during the phone call, the other one that we called and we called again and we called a 3rd time and kept saying he'd call back and he hasn't called back. So both the 2 good prospects that we've had have gotten cold feet and stepped back. Lindsay just posted things on Indeed, and we actually got a decent prospect earlier today that I've since sent over to Keith LeMasters. Keith LeMasters continues to work under the contract basis that we hired him under for $5,500 a month, and I know when we hired him it was for $5,500 with the hopes that he could give us some feedback, and we continue to work through things, and we need to keep him going for a while longer, if that's okay with council, until we get an accountant on board and he helps train the accountant. Again, depending on what kind of experience the accountant has, if the accountant is just, works for a local firm or works for somebody else that isn't governmental accounting, it takes some specifics to get into the governmental accounting, and that's one of the good things that Keith has, is having worked for Panama City, he has that experience that he can help, with whoever comes on board. So if we could, I'd like to keep him on board for a while longer, and we've opened up a new avenue for applications to come in. We just continue to see a slow progress on the accounting side, even to the point that Panama City was not able to find their city clerk / accountant, and they've gone out to a headhunter to fill that position. So even with the unemployment to the level that it is, we're still having a hard time finding an accounting position.
So you want approval to extend that for another month?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're open for discussion or a motion to extend the accounting Keith Masters.
I don't think there needs to be a discussion. We need him doing what he's doing, period, I think.
Well,
No, as
you
far
may
as
feel
I'm,
that way, but somebody else might want to comment on it.
okay, well, no, I'm not saying don't comment, but that was my comment.
I understand. That's probably the consensus of the table. But it has been brought to my attention during I've been sitting here, that sometimes everybody wants a chance to talk, so I want to make sure they have a chance to. Chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion where to extend Keith Masters, stay for another month
For the
And-
price, $5,500.
at $5,500.
I second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Peak?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
All right. All done?
I have something that I said I would bring up to
Just a minute.
an email.
All right, just a minute. We're getting to you.
Okay.
Are you through with?
I did want to give kudos to Thomas. Over the last week, there have been a couple things that have popped up, and I mean literally. When the water main blew out there on Maryland, he was out here until midnight with his crew, so he works in the office, but I can tell you he's out in the field quite often getting things done. He helped get the water approval out on 98 where he stepped out and called DEP and said, look, we're having a problem with the COVID and getting the water tested and getting the water returned. Can we at least get the water active out on 98 so the contractors can build? And he got approval from DEP to do that. So that was a good proactive move. And then I think it was on Monday, we got a call early in the morning saying that Tyndall was about to do a 20-inch tap on an 18-inch line, which I don't understand. And they were doing a 16-inch tap on a 20-inch line, on an 18-inch line, which I do understand. But they were doing both of those. But before they did that, they gave us a little bit of a heads up, so we filled all of our tanks so that if something ruptured in the process, that we had at least the capabilities of running for a while. So again, a lot of our crews are out there doing things that not everybody sees all the time, just like I mentioned on the beach raking. And over the last couple weeks, Tommy has gone out and cut some trees that at first he was a little concerned about, and he's taken a couple extra precautions and was able to fell some trees that he didn't feel as comfortable with, but then put a little bit more thought in it and brought them down. So again, there's still crews out here that are working on those type things. And then the other thing that came up was we have 7 workers right now out in the field that are helping us that are provided through grant type funding, and we have 1 office person that works through those type funds. On Friday, I received notice that funding was going away. And I didn't mention anything to anybody on Fridays. I hate for them to have a bad weekend. And on Monday, right about the time where I was getting ready to let people know, I got another email that said that there were a couple of calls made over the weekend, and the funding came back in for those. So we were very thankful because, again, part of the reason that Mexico Beach is looking as clean as Mexico Beach is, I see them on right there at the entrance of Tyndall almost on a daily basis, picking up and cleaning up. And that's part of the group that we've got out here that is still helping clean up, because there's still stuff from Michael that's still blowing out of the woods in places here and there. And in the next probably 2 weeks, we should start to see some activity on Salt Creek. We're getting very close on that. we had to do some arguing with, the powers to be that issued the permit on where the water's edge was not the creek, but the flooded edge was where the creek was, and they finally adopted the flooded water's edge so that we can clean the full breadth of Salt Creek. And the gentleman behind y'all, Sandy, has moved in upstairs, and they're up there as quiet as church mice, so I've not heard them. He actually told them to go wash the truck while we were in here meeting.
I sent them away.
Yeah. But again, we have moved into our finished temporary space as opposed to our temporary trailer space. They should haul off the trailer towards the end of the week, and we'll have an area that will no longer have a trailer, and we'll start cleaning that up and making sure that we can start using that park again to some ability. I've also asked Tommy to start hauling some of our not pristine sand, but our still beach quality sand from the dredge area over to Sunset Park so that we can start bringing the Sunset Park back up to its original elevation, and we're going to kick off getting some design work on that to get some shade structures and bathrooms done over there at Sunset Park. It's a small enough park. I think we probably have the funds locally where we can start scratching some dirt over there and not getting ourselves into a financial burden. We are still going after funds for parks, but we do have some funds that have come in locally for the park, so we're going to start putting some of those in. And I think that's it.
Okay, questions for Administrator?
Building the park, like Sunset, that's gonna be an in-house. Or are you gonna?
No, we'll still have to get an architect to draw it up, and it's.
I just thought that we got good people that can build, so, no, we can't do that.
We need to rethink that, architect.
Yeah, no, I
We need to
it's
rethink an
not gonna be.
architect spending
yeah.
that kind of money.
No, when I say architect, I mean somebody that can sign and seal a set of drawings for us for a simple building.
Okay. Okay. Well, that part we do have to have. We have to have a signed and sealed set of plans. But as far as a design, I would hope we're gonna could simplify that, because we need that part to be, that needs to be somehow get on the burner, up, it needs to move up the line.
There's no reason that we can't make that happen pretty quick. There's too many people with construction sense right here, sitting here.
Well, but we still gotta have a layout, and we gotta get the
Sure.
elevation up, and we gotta get,
Yeah, those guys, that's not a major deal and a major cost if we do that with the right people.
no, it's not, no, getting it
Yeah.
signed and sealed,
Right.
I think we can draw, I think we've got, I mean, if everybody's agreement that we're not hunting, we can't afford what we saw, and we just can't do that.
Yeah, right. Right.
What do we need to do to make, I know that Dewberry agreed to do all of the work pro bono, all the work, that's the bad, all of the, site work, civil, I guess. Do you know where we are with that?
I will get with Cliff and Josh and find out. But again, knowing that at the end of the day, this still comes through some level of federal funding, I still have to follow procurement process. So it's.
Well, federal funding, but they're gonna give us money to put back what was there. That's all they're gonna do. And what was there was a bathroom, a block bathroom, and 2 pole barns. I think my question to you is, what will they have to have to get that, for us to get just what little they're gonna give us?
It's more on the construction side, and if we pay an architect, again, it's all the procurement side of the world that complicates everything that you get grant funding.
Well, here's why I'm asking that question, because that process is extremely frustrating and very expensive if we are looking to just get the money for a block bathroom and 2 pole barns. We can't just come up with our own design of what we want and get somebody to draw those plans and stamp.
We can definitely simplify the process, yes. I mean, we can tell them that all we want is a flat-out pole barn. That we can do. And when we hire the architect and that's all they're gonna do, then that's all that they will do. I wasn't part of the one that, with the marina, so I can't tell you what was done there, but
Well, you've seen the, you've
Oh, I've
seen,
seen
you've
the
seen
product.
that, and we all know that we,
it's overkill
That was-
for what we're looking for
well,
Sunset
well,
Park.
we're not gonna get the funding. See, everybody, when this whole thing started, FEMA's coming in and we'll get all this money. Well, that's just, I mean, we all know now that's not the way that works. So what we asked for and what we got is something we can't afford, bottom line.
Sure.
I just don't want Sunset Park to get, I mean, that, the value of that park, to get something up in the middle of our town, just sort of is another sign of we're coming back, we're getting there. I just wanna, and you know this, cause I've talked to you and you've seen my emails to you and Dina about getting that escalated up the line. And if we get local folks to wanna build it, and we get it approved, there's nothing, I mean,
As long as we do a bid process, there's not a problem
Yeah,
with that.
it's the bid process, that's the
All right.
key to it is. We got
all right, so can we make that a report item every meeting? So where we are with that? Okay. Council comments. Anybody got anything? Jerry, I know you do, Jerry does, you go ahead there, or Jerry, it doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
Okay. I had someone request the ability to ride their golf carts till 11 p.m. I told them I thought it was a safety issue, that you don't see golf carts that well at night. And I asked one of the sheriff's deputies today, he's not here, but he agreed with me and said he didn't think 11 o'clock would be a very safe thing, especially if they get out on 15th. And he said, he said, we'll enforce whatever you want to do, but I don't think it's a good idea. And if you do it, they need to have a tag, they need to be licensed for the road.
Yeah.
And he said, then you got the whole issue of, or do kids have a driver's license? You know, they're supposed to be old enough to have a driver's license. So I just told them that we would bring it up and discuss it, or at least talk about it. So I personally am not, I don't like the idea of golf carts riding around at 11 o'clock personally. Because I think there's a lot of safety issues that you have to consider, because you can't consider somebody that's going to be very careful. You have to consider those people that are not going to be very careful with it. And so, anyhow, I brought it up.
Anybody got any comments about that?
Well, first of all, be on 15th, you gotta have a tag.
No, you don't.
If you
No,
got- I mean, 98, I'm sorry.
98, yeah, right.
Okay, now if you got a tag, you gotta have a license.
Right.
So as far as that part of it, you gotta have, now mine is tagged, got a license, insurance and everything else. Most golf carts does not.
Can you ride yours on 98?
Yes. I can't get outside the city limits. But, I'm like you, I don't think, visibility is good enough. And it's not the person driving the car as much as somebody just driving along.
Right.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, I think it's tougher to see. It's smaller. It doesn't grab your attention.
Right.
You don't, you can't tell if it's a yard light or something like that typically, personally.
All right, I totally agree. I told them that in my response
Oh, okay,
too. But I didn't say I'd bring it up, but I did respond to it.
okay.
I don't think we need to be changing anything about golf carts so they can drive at night. That's just, to me, that's,
I'm agreed.
all right, and Jerry?
Are we enforcing, yet asking people to mow the yards that used to mow the yards before the storm and can mow their yards now? Some of them are vacant lots, have nothing on them, and could be easily mowed. I could mow it with my mower, but people are letting the weeds grow. And I just think that would make the whole city look better if we can neat it up a little bit. And besides, I think that's, there's an ordinance or something about that. It's so high. What is it, 12 inches or something like that? Yeah. And then some people are taking the trees down, digging up the stumps, and then letting the weeds grow over my head. And we have so many lots that the trees have to come down on and be moved out. And then are we just gonna let it grow back up? Are they gonna be responsible for at least having it so it can be bush hogged? So, what does anybody else think about that?
I think we all follow the ordinance. Simple as that.
How do you enforce that ordinance?
There's a process, you go through the
Code
code, go
enforcement.
through the magistrate, just like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very well lined out, and he's correct. There are some shabby looking places with no structures on them that are just, I mean, we just need to get our code person, write a letter, and cite the ordinance, and it's lined out how long they have to do it.
I just said code enforcement text.
Okay? Jerry, anything else?
The only thing is, I understand why we have, I think it's 55-gallon cans to put garbage in on 98. It's set up on 4x4s, so it'd be, you know what I'm talking about, the blue thing that looks ungodly ugly. Could we put something like a Mexico Beach logo or something, and then nicely put down, please, no pets on the beach, or something? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? It's necessary. I like the idea that it's there, and the way it's fixed so they can dump it. But it just looks like, you know, if there's something we could do that wouldn't cost that much, put the logo on it, and then put a little, just nice reminder, please, no, something on the thing that will take it away from being such a garbage can. Look, that's it.
I agree, it would look better.
Get the artist group to put a mural on them.
There you go.
They put them up high, they easy to dump.
I understand that.
Keep varmints,
I understand that.
varmints out.
Yes,
Keep it dragging the trash off.
you're right, yeah. No, it's a good place for it.
Need to doctor them up.
Yeah, yeah.
The logo look good on it. Big blue.
And it wouldn't cost much if you wanted, because we still are particular about no pets on the beach. That'd be a nice place, please, no pets on the beach. And everybody's got to see that as they walk down the game plate there. Just a thought. It wouldn't cost that much.
Yeah, logo would look good. That'd be, see what we got.
I'll see what my friend down at the end of the street who can do all this computer work, signage, as far as writing a little note or something. Anyway, that's it.
All right. Anybody else?
I just want, you say that now? I just want to tell thank Kathy, she's not here, but she really does a good job on, I mean, you can call her. I mean, you know, we had all 100-something RVs, now And she is getting hold on it. I really appreciate her doing her job.
Yes, this is a big help.
Yeah, and I want to get the list like the marathon getting on. Highlight mine too, if you don't mind. And Tommy out there, Low Storm, did a good job of, cleaning up the parks and the roads and, I think everybody's coming together after the little bad weather. I just want to thank them and the sheriff department. I helped them move a bunch of trees out of the road, so I just want to thank them for 3 or 4 people that really did a good job for the health of the city. That's all.
Are there any citizens' comments? Yes, sir.
2 quick things. Just before the meeting, I talked to Lieutenant Williams and asked him why Mexico Beach, one side of the road was 40 miles an hour and one side of the road was 35 miles an hour. He said DOT. He said DOT has to change that sign. Can we get DOT to change that sign to 35? And I also asked him, can they put something out there with little radar things, like this is your speed? Because nobody does 35 through our dedicated beach. And once the beach opens back up again, you put all these nice new walkways on and everything else, the whole speed limit should be 35. I don't know why it's 40 when you come in.
Because you've never talked to DOT, that's why you don't know.
Well, I can't talk to DOT, somebody here has to do that.
I'll tell you, they'll tell you why, but you won't understand. But anyway, yeah, I've talked to those folks about our speed limit. Their rationale is beyond anything that I truly comprehend. But they do studies now, they'll tell you that this is, and it's their road, they'll let you know that. But I understand. I like the thing of the sign about,
Yeah, at least
that
be
always
nice.
helps.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
a,
So he
I agree.
said, he said he'll look into that. The second thing, everybody knows last week we had the windstorm come through. My house got bombarded from construction debris stacked up next to a couple of houses that don't have dumpsters, the crap is out there. It took 14 months to start sending letters out to these RVs and these houses that need to be demoed. Somebody needs to walk around, the code lady, she's doing a great job, and just look at this stuff stacked up next to houses with no dumpsters. Hurricane season starts 1 June, and it ain't gonna take much. A cat one, we're gonna have stuff flying everywhere. I'm lucky my wife's car wasn't whacked. I looked at my video cameras, I couldn't believe the stuff blowing under my house from across the street. And there's even an empty lot there that still has debris in it that was never cleaned up.
I thought they were supposed to have dumpsters the
A lot of them,
the minute construction starts.
Half the, no.
Yeah, I know.
Not for remodeling some of the stuff, and
Right.
you just stack it up and leave it, and it's ridiculous. You can go around, you know what I'm talking about, Mayor. You can
I
go
do.
around, you
I
guys
do.
can see it. And we got a month.
We
and-
can add that to Kathy's list to look at. But I do understand. I fully understand and I see it. And we can, maybe like we're doing with everything else, we just gotta get her to start
She's
hacking
doing
away
a
at
great
those
job.
things and see what we can get done. I understand.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say thank you to Jerry Wallace, since this is his last official regularly scheduled meeting, for having the guts and the perseverance to serve as he has. So thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
That's because I brought her here.
All right. Anything else? Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Friday morning, 9 o'clock. Okay.
Jerry,
Yes.
you gotta come.
I don't have to be here Friday.
Very good.